The Brutalist was one of the most acclaimed films of 2024. And it was also the film that won Adrien Brody his second Oscar, to which he gave one of the least enjoyable Oscar speeches of all time. And it was also the longest Oscar-winning speech of all time. Of course, when the movie came out, it was making headlines, it was making waves. So I was really, really dying to see it. I absolutely like it. I just love epic films, even films that aren't really epics but are still really, really long. As long as the pacing is good, as long as I'm sucked into it enough, so be it. I'll watch it. I'm kind of a sucker for long films and epics. So yeah, I was really, really looking forward to seeing it at The Brutalist. And I'll admit, The Brutalist is it's one of those super duper long films that really did not need to be as long as it did, and would have benefited from shorter runtime. There's different kinds of epics and different kinds of long films that I sometimes like to classify. I don't have like names for them or anything, but there's epics that are long because that's the way they really should be, and if they were shorter, they would not have been as good, and they could even be longer and it would still be great. So those would be films like Dances with Wolves and JFK and The Best of Youth. Then there's the long films and the epics where, yes, they are super duper long. They could have been shorter, and that would have been okay, but I'm glad that they were really, really long. Those would be films like The Irishman and Ben-Hur with Charlton Heston. Those are some good examples of films like that. Then there's epics and long films that really would have been noticeably better if they were shorter. They really did not need to be as long as they did. Those would be films like The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford, Breaking the Waves, and The Brutalist. So the movie takes place sometime after World War II, and Adrien Brody is this architect from Poland. He's married, and when he arrives in America, he's really trying to capture his own American dream. His cousin tries to hook him up with some potential clients, and as the things are progressing, and more clients come, he befriends one of the top guys in the entire state, who's played by Guy Pearce in his dynasty. It is nice seeing the rags to riches thing happening with Adrien Brody. After the intermission, that's when the movie's flaws really start to become more noticeable. Now, the movie isn't really very energetic, which is understandable. It really tries to be one of those calm, cool films that can simply just hold you in its grasp. The movie doesn't really do that as strong as some other quiet, slow burners, but it still does. It does a good enough job of doing so. And as I said, it's a slow burner, but Adrien Brody's performance in this, it is freaking good. I know he won the Oscar for The Pianist, and yes, The Pianist miles above The Brutalist, not just in terms of the film itself, but the performance by Adrien Brody, way better in the Pianist than in The Brutalist. But still, Adrien Brody winning for The Brutalist, very, very deserving. Yes, I like his Oscar win. His Oscar acceptance speech wasn't good, but whatever, great performance. Anyway, as the things are going, we kind of do get some more, we kind of develop a little bit of interest in the whole architecture stuff as things are progressing, because it's nice seeing rags to riches being presented in like a physical building manner. Because usually, when you see rags to riches, it's like usually think of like clothes and jewelry and bling. But yeah, with the brutalist architecture, it's cool. I shouldn't be complaining about this following thing, but whatever. It's the movie's pacing in the second after the intermission. It becomes really, really wonky, and it's like the reason being is the movie for how long before intermission was a constant slow burner, keeping the exact same pace throughout that entire duration. After intermission, it's a slow burner at times, but then it's like really, really fast, and it burns slow, and it's really, really fast, and like, yeah, I know I'm complaining about the way that the movie's paced, but at the same time, like, but I hate to say it, the movie never soars to its greatest heights. When we learn more about who exactly this Guy Pearce fellow is, and how much of a brute he can actually be, again, it doesn't soar to the highest of heights like some other Adrian Brody things have, like some other Guy Pearce things have in the past. But still, I thought that like what we got was a good film, pretty solid. I did think that this was one of the 10 best films of 2024. Is it really the best? Like even the 5 best? I personally wouldn't think so. I think that when 2029, 2030 come along and people start doing their list of the decade's best, no way The Brutalist is going to be on it. In 2002, yeah, The Pianist definitely. 2009, 2010, best of the decade, yeah, The Pianist was absolutely gonna make those lists. The Brutalist, not quite. Still a good film. I still recommend people see it, because, you may have a stronger reaction to it than I did. My reaction was a little bit above moderate, a bit above moderately positive, okay? I feel like giving The Brutalist from 2024 3.5 stars out of 4. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you again next time.